Hello and welcome to the Press Start Podcast, Press Start Australia's weekly video game discussion podcast, brought to you today by SteelSeries and their new range of Alias microphones. They're mics made for gamers. And a big shout out to SteelSeries again for kitting us out and supporting the show. I'm your host, Ewan, joined today by my fellow gamers and co-hosts, Shannon, Brody,
Hello.
and James.
Hello.
Boy, do we have a hell of a show today. It's not like nothing didn't happen in video games this past week. We will, of course, be talking about GTA 6's trailer getting released after leaking online, James's Frontiers of Pandora Avatar review. I'd said the words in the wrong way around, but I think you'll get the gist. The Fallout TV show getting a trailer and a ton of new content coming to Fortnite. But first, I had no idea what we were going to do with the podcast today because we were going to originally record a little bit later in the week on the Wednesday night, kind of given that the Grand Theft Auto trailer was meant to kind of come out early hours of Wednesday morning. But here we are. It's kind of come out early. We're kind of recording our usual Tuesday night, although the episode's coming out a little bit later, seeing as James is reviewing Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. I said it right that time. But we've had the kind of day to sit and gestate on the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. It initially kind of leaked, and then Rockstar kind of came around, I think kind of within the hour or something. Is that right, Shannon? It was pretty quick.
I think it was really quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
Even less.
Anyhow, the trailer kind of confirmed details that the game's going to be set in Leonida. I've already had a shot at this, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly yet. But fictionalized Florida, essentially, and the neon-soaked streets of Vice City, aka Miami, is coming 2025 to next-gen consoles only, and with no word on a PC release at launch. So that's you caught up. Shannon, the trailer. What did you make of it?
I really liked it. I probably watched it maybe like 10 times now. And I just think, like, given it's a 90-second trailer with maybe like 70 seconds of like actual footage, we get a really good sense of what the game is, from everything from location to the characters to like how things have expanded to graphics improvements. Like, I thought in terms of what it showed, it was probably right exactly what I thought it would be. But yeah, I just think overall, like, I can't think of a better reveal trailer that like doesn't give away everything, but really paints the picture for what this game is going to be.
What did you make of the visuals of the game? Like, obviously, we kind of know now that it's next gen only. That seems pretty apparent just looking at the game, right?
I think so. I think people forget that like GTA 5 was like a PS3 360 game. So like it has had enhancements, but it's a big jump forward, but I think probably not as much in terms of like detail and like realism, but like in terms of like how many people were on the beach and how many people were in the streets and density and just variety of character types, even like that was what looked like to be a real step forward, which is exciting.
Yeah, I suppose if you think about like what Insomniac have achieved with Spider-Man 2 and the kind of population density step up between like Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, the same
you don't
kind of
notice
jump,
until you go back and look. Like because it's just what you think the world is. But yeah, not something you notice unless you compare the two explicitly.
Yeah, and given how alive the world of GTA 5 felt, I'm really excited to see what that's enabled them to do. Like, I remember it being a big deal that the flip-flops actually flopped in GTA 5, and I imagine that will feel even more trivial now in comparison
Next
to
gen flip-flops.
into GTA 6. The trailer does, of course, include two protagonists, Lucia, I'm really checking all my pronunciations on everything, and her unnamed partner, but believed to be called Jason, turning to a life of crime in a kind of Bonnie and Clyde-esque story by the looks of things. James, what are your thoughts on the new characters and how they're presented in the trailer?
I think they're cool, and I'm keen to see how it plays out. I think it's good to be different. I'm glad they're not just doing what they did with 5 again. Because 5 was good, obviously, with the heists and all that, and that kind of worked with 3 people. But I think having these two and like having probably a deeper connection between them will also be more interesting from a story perspective. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe this is me being like myself, but I have a very good idea of how it's going to end. Like, I feel like this is definitely going to be like Lucia's story out of the two of them.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like the snippets that we see of like them together are really cool. I think it'll be interesting. I think it's like the first time I've been interested in a GTA story. Like I've kind of seen, the 4 and the 5 reveal, and I never was kind of taken in by the story, but this one I think
Mm.
definitely. And also like
Do
the tone feels more serious, which I liked as well. So yeah,
Do we
doesn't seem
definitely
as
think both are going to be playable? Because I was sort of going back and forth between like them
I,
both being playable, or maybe just her as the lead character.
I think so. Like, I think they'll both be playable. I think there's been like some of the leak footage from like last year. I think it showed him as playable and stuff like that. But I would say, being that this is trailer one, I'd say like maybe the second one is more from his perspective, and it sort of gives the sides of both stories. Like I'd expect you're able to choose, and then maybe it even does like what Spider-Man 2 did and flips you between the two as the story goes on. But definitely cool. I do like the two protagonist approach. Like it feels a bit neater. I think three. Sorry, not three, but
It's too
five.
much.
The 3 and 5 got a bit messy, I felt, and it was just sort of a bit over the top and silly. So similar to
Yeah.
James, I think I like the more serious tone in this one for sure.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they do with the story this time. I didn't really kind of get into the story with 5 in the same way I know others did, because it was just kind of a bit kind of uh cartoony is not necessarily the right word, but a little, yeah, over the top in that sort of regard, where this
Slapstick.
does kind of feel a bit more kind of grounded. And even like thinking about the kind of Bonnie and Clyde sort of thing, it kind of even gets me thinking about Better Call Saul, or kind of some sort of like character piece like that, which really quite excites me. At the same time, though, like seeing as it's set in like this fictionalized version of Florida, like I think everything that's kind of happened in the States between GTA 5 coming out and now this one, I'm really interested to see how Rockstar kind of apply their particular brand of satire to a lot of those kind of, pieces of history that have unraveled over the last few years. I suspect we'll see not so subtle nods at everything that has unfolded in the States during that time.
Very, very big focus on like social media and like casting in the trailer as well. So like they must satirize like
Yeah.
social media and influencers and stuff like that, which is pretty ripe for satire. But do you think that, I don't know, do you reckon like the social media side of things will play a part in like the more alive world side of things? Like, because I like to imagine that this game might have like a connected world that everyone can sort of be involved in their own way, and like you can upload things to the game's social media, and it sort of acts as like a platform to like consolidate all that stuff, like
Yeah,
people's clips, like almost like a capture sort of thing where you can capture cool shit and just upload it to your socials.
Yeah, I hope so. I think that'd be really cool. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't they kind of recently change the kind of branding around the Rockstar like social club as well? Like I wonder if that's kind of going to be a feature where this is kind of like they almost have like a social media app in the game that kind of blurs a little bit outside, and it is a place for people kind of sharing their antics and their clips and their
I
stunts
think
and
that'd
all
be
of
cool.
that. Yeah, within the game that then kind of spills out into the real world somewhat too. Um, yeah, I really kind of like what that's implied by the sort of inclusion of the social clips in the trailer. I'm interested to see how that all pans out. Um, where's your excitement levels at in general, do you think, Brody? And when in like 2025 do you think this might materialize?
Well, I think based on what they've said in investor calls and stuff, it must be like first quarter or so of 2025, you would think, because it's the next financial year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
fairly sure
March it
that's
ends
yeah.
technically? So it must be in the first few months of that 2025 year. But yeah, look, I 5, I sort of, my history with GTA is, I don't know. I've played them all, but 5 I sort of fell off quickly. Like I finished the campaign. I didn't really get into online, which obviously has been huge over the last 10 years or whatever. But I think my interest levels in this one are pretty high. Like Rockstar do just such good work in sort of creating these worlds. Like this definitely seems like a step up and more in line in terms of quality with like say Red Dead 2 or something like that in terms of like fidelity for a start. And I feel like they've got like a good opportunity to tell some good stories in here, like and
Yeah.
touch on some good side stuff like they do in Red Dead. Um, so yeah, I'm pretty keen. I'm obviously looking forward to more trailers and deep dives that they'll do over the course of the next year. But yeah,
How do you think GTA Online kind of carries on from here, Shannon, kind of given what we've seen in this trailer? Is it kind of a natural, like, one for one, kind of given the kind of tone and style of this game that we've only had a glimpse of so far?
I think so. I don't think it'll launch alongside it. I don't think any of the onlines have launched alongside the games recently, have they? So I feel like that'll
No.
happen later. It's to be honest, I don't know a lot about GTA Online, but I feel like there's a lot more they can do with it. Like, obviously, it's brought them in a lot of money, but I don't really feel like they've expanded the world and stuff significantly ever. I could be wrong in that totally. But I feel like there is a lot more that they could do with GTA in terms of like having an expanded world that's being updated and added to over time. So I'd like to
Yeah.
see that in both online and single player.
I mean, they kind of have like open with GTA Online, they have like added to it kind of over time, added new kind of story pieces and that,
Yeah.
like new jobs, that kind of thing. Like it has been expanded on, but nothing in a way that kind of ever really like changed the map. That
Yeah, location wise.
yeah. Where to kind of Brody's earlier point, if it was some kind of like evolving thing, not necessarily like Fortnite-esque, which we'll talk about later in the show
It
some
could
more
be
as
though,
well. But
like when you think about it, like not as ridiculous, but it
Yeah.
could be that with like massive events and things that happen in the world. And then you get a new city or whatever. Like that's what I would love to see. The two sort of brought together more into one package, and I just think
Yeah.
they never knew that GTA Online was going to do what it did. And now they have that knowledge, and hopefully they spent the last decade sort of planning what that looks like
yeah.
in the future.
I do kind of feel like GTA Online felt tacked on to 5. Like it felt like its own thing in a lot of ways. Like obviously you're creating your own character and kind of going into it. I wish there was kind of a bit more bleed over between like the single player side of the game and the online component. I don't quite know you're not creating the two protagonists and then carrying out their story online. I can't see that happening. But if there was some kind of crossover, be it kind of, I don't know, the progress you make in the game or something, currency even, that might work. But some more crossover would be good. And I reckon just like a larger or improvements to the kind of player experience as well. Like when you're trying to jump from one game mode to another or like start up missions and stuff in the game, it does feel kind of a bit janky. It's not a very seamless experience. So if they're kind of able to improve a lot of those sort of systems, maybe it's a kind of venue you go to and that opens up like all the stunt races or that kind of thing. That could be a better way of doing it. But yeah, obviously a lot more still to come. We're a little while away from the game coming out.
That was like, a real kick in the gut. Like I thought it was going to be next year 100%. And I even thought like we were looking at like March next year, to be honest. So like to know it's 2025, which could literally be like 2 years away essentially still at worst. It's definitely hard when we've waited so long for this moment.
James, obviously the trailers had a really big reaction online. Like I think I saw already it's kind of like the most
50 million
liked or
views on YouTube
interact.
already.
Yeah, 50 million views on YouTube at the time of recording, the most liked gaming related tweet of all time, that sort of thing. Do you think GTA 6 sets the world on fire the same way 5 did when it came out? Like, does this kind of supersede that as the biggest entertainment release of all time? Or is there more competition nowadays and less interest in GTA?
I think it might. The thing with GTA is like I feel like even though it's been so successful, they've never kind of buckled and they've still made them an every few years kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think with this one especially, how long has it been since the last one? I think the last one was what?
2013, I think.
Yeah, so like this is definitely like the longest we've had to wait between them. So I think a lot of people are really keen for that. I do wonder like open world wise, is it going to be, as good as like we always say that open world games have changed so much since like 5 came out. So I don't know like if it will, but like I think it will still sell heaps and it's still going to be as impactful for sure. I'm interested to see how because obviously I've seen a lot of like terrible stuff already about having to play as a woman. But like, I'm interested to see if that will affect anything. Like, I don't think it will. I think with GTA, it's got such a wide audience, and some people just buy it for GTA Online as well. So like, and that's the thing. I think that's the key difference. I think is I feel like GTA could have easily made, say, GTA Online free to play and get a lot more people in that way, but like there was really no way to get in on that without buying GTA 5. So like the audience and stuff has always kind of had to be big, if that makes sense, like because people wanted to be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will. I think there's a chance. It just depends on how long they're going to wait between 6 and 7, And I don't know why. I feel like I can't see that happening. I feel like maybe they have more of a plan this time. I think maybe as well GTA Online maybe blew up more than they thought it would. So they kind of had to support that for a much longer time.
Yeah.
Especially as they stepped away from single player DLC, which was a thing in 4, but then not in 5 at all. So
yeah. Thinking to like the significance of GTA Online now and like whether that comes out at launch for GTA 6, I sort of feel like it may not have to be day in like the same day that GTA 6 drops, that the kind of online component of it comes out. But I sort of feel like they need to have detailed what it's gonna be prior to the launch of the game. And maybe kind of have a timeline like a month after launch, the servers go live for GTA 6 Online or something like that. Because people are going to expect that in a big way, but I understand them wanting to get people into the single player experience first and foremost.
Yeah, I think that's what it was last time. Like we knew it was coming, we knew what it was called. They might have even shown it off before it released.
Yeah,
I can't. Yeah,
details
I think they
are pretty
will...
scarce if I remember correctly. I can't.
Don't want another Factions 2 situation where we're just waiting and waiting and waiting.
I think they'd be more worried about GTA Online 2 in terms of like, will it drive that same impact and last a decade? Like, I think that's going to be harder for them to do with what we've spoken about, because there was nothing like that when that came out, like in any sense. Like online was still quite new. Like there was no Fortnite, there was no like live servicey games in that way that reached that type of audience. So that's what they'll want to get right, because that's like just giving them so much more money in addition to the $100.
Yeah,
it's nuts. It is nuts. I just think there is nothing like GTA. Like even thinking back, like just the midnight launch and like the line throughout my shopping center, like from the EB to the other end, like it's just nuts. So
I remember going past like an EB like later in the day that it came out, and there's still being kind of a queue out of the door of people there to pick it up. I just can't remember anything quite like it in terms of releases. And to James's point, it probably is the kind of scarcity in which GTA releases happen. They are kind of few and far between, big kind of cultural moments when they do pop.
Yeah, it's
like people that aren't gamers otherwise were texting me today going, "Oh my god, did you see the trailer?"
It obviously has like a nostalgia piece as well now, where like people in their 30s, like it is the game we're playing in our teens. I'm keen to see how it resonates with younger people, like 13 to 15. Who I guess haven't played a GTA or experienced that launch before. So that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I can't wait for that kind of deep dive trailer now that's, the 10, 15 minute sort of piece, like showcasing all you can do. Like, I remember it being such a big deal that you could cycle your bike and play tennis and stuff in the last one. Like, what kind of strange experiences they add into this out like Florida, or like at least the fictionalized version of it, I think is so ripe for bizarre side activities and sort of things. So I can't wait to see what those all turn out to be. But yeah, 2025, bit of a wait. I'm sure we'll hear plenty before then, and we'll be here on the podcast to talk about all of it when we do hear about it. But James, I'm eager to hear now about your review of Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. What did you make of the game?
So I just want to start talking about this game by saying, like, I've never been a huge fan of Avatar. Like, I've watched them. I think they're very pretty movies, like great showcases of technology. I've just always found the story to be a bit like whatever, and I don't know, never been my favorite. But I love games, so I thought, maybe this will be the thing that wins me over. So yeah, it's tough because
was unsuccessful in that.
I mean, no, it's not. No, I don't want to say like it's unsuccessful. I think it is, like, it's a game. It exists and it has gameplay. The world is amazing.
Box quote right there.
Pandora is amazing. Like, you genuinely feel like this world is living and breathing. I don't think I've played a game that's more visually dense than this. Like just walking through the jungle and like all the grass and the bushes and all the flowers and all, everything is just like moving, living. I'm playing on PC. Probably should clarify. Might not look that good on console. But yeah, like a genuinely fantastic looking game, great setting. But the gameplay itself, I don't. It's not bad. It's just nothing super new. And I know I don't
Yeah.
need something new every time I play a game, but like this really is, like, I hate to say it, but like this is really a Far Cry-esque kind of experience.
Without the insanity, I'm guessing.
What do you mean by insanity?
Like just Far Cry is like you're blowing up weed
Oh,
plants
okay.
with flamethrowers and
Yeah.
fun things like that.
And I think lifting stuff like from those games also feels at odds. Like when you're a Navi running around with a rocket launcher, it doesn't feel right. Like, I don't know. And like I said to Shannon earlier today, like you unlock this ancient ancestral technique that lets you rip people out of mechs, and I just don't believe the Navi would have had an ancestral technique that lets you rip people out of mechs. Do you know, like so much stuff is like at odds with like the lore and the story and stuff. But then you've got like, it's just very like, go to an outpost, clear it, and then it turns the like kind of almost black and white environment back to the colorful Pandora that you remember, and then you can go and do more stuff. It's very by the numbers. Which like I said, it's not a bad thing. Like some people will enjoy this still. I think people will find something in this. But like if you are somebody who has been tiring of that formula, this won't really do anything to change that for you. So yeah. The one thing that I do love that stands out, but also is, once again, it's a little bit at odds with itself, is the movement, like the traversal and stuff is really fun. Like you hold A to do like a long jump and stuff, and you can mantle on almost everything. Like it feels very fluid. Getting from A to B is pretty easy because you have got so much, I guess, like agility and athleticism to you as being a Navi. But then also can't help but feel with so much platforming, like why isn't it just all in third person? Like it still works, like don't get me wrong, like to be honest, I've never found a point where like I failed a jump or like stuffed up because it was first person, because the mantling seems to be so forgiving and stuff, especially. But like I feel like this would have been really cool to kind of like, dart through the jungles and stuff in third person, especially since you are third person when you fly. So, and your character's on screen like the whole time. It's one of those games where, you look down, you can see your legs and stuff, and your shadows are always there. So like it's all animated fine to be third person. Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Not even to give you a choice either,
Yeah. It almost like looks like it could have been Horizon Zero Dawn in kind of another reality, I suppose. Like if it was a third person sort of thing.
You do have like a Navi sense kind of thing, and that highlight when you look at a creature or an enemy with that, it does highlight the like weak spots on each thing that you're fighting. And that admittedly is quite Horizon-y. But obviously you can't like rip off stuff and kill people with them because they're all organic beings mainly. So yeah.
I'm curious, like, because I'm no stranger to a Far Cry game. I reckon I've probably given all of them like a go to a certain extent, but it's pretty rare that I kind of persist through a full thing. I kind of like inevitably sort of lose interest, and the gameplay loop just kind of becomes a little bit repetitive kind of after a time. So I might really enjoy my first like 10 hours of the game and then drop off quickly thereafter. What is the sort of staying power of this game? Like, were you presented new kind of challenges and things to do throughout, or is it a bit of a slog?
It's definitely, especially the opening hours, is definitely a slog. Right up until you get your Banshee or your Ikran. It does feel
another
like
one of these open world games that falls into that trap.
Yeah, you just have to like keep playing. I don't know if I was doing it wrong, but I'm sure like I wasn't doing it wrong. I know I wasn't, but like it's it's just because there's a lot to like when you're going to from objective A to B or whatever. Like it's quite a long distance because it kind of assumes you have the world is designed around having them out, right? But you don't get them out until a few hours in. But to answer your question, like to me, Far Cry, I've always kind of persisted with them because the villain has always, in the last 3 games at least, has been quite interesting, and like you wanted to kind of see how that relationship or that villain plays out. But this doesn't. This has like the same villain as the movies, almost like just some angry human man who wants to like get, you know, plow the environment for his own game. You know what I mean? Like it's just so typical. Like, which like I get it. Like in a way, that's what Avatar is. So I guess it's a very faithful adaptation of the formula. But like I just kind of want something more. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't like. I
It's a
don't.
weird one.
I don't hate it. Like I don't hate it, but
I think it
don't
might help. Like,
love it.
what score did you settle on? Like, where did you land on this?
No, not there yet. Yeah. Was like,
Bearing in
please
mind
don't
we
ask
are
me.
recording
Yeah.
kind of ahead
We're recording earlier. Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
haven't settled on a score. It's like definitely above 6. That's all I can like confidently say.
Gives us a whole range to work with. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the maximum between 6 and 6.5? Is that
I will not be setting up a range at this stage. But yeah, like I do. If you like Avatar, especially, I think it's worth a try. Because I think that even there's little things that I kind of like where, you know, when you're gathering, because there's a lot of hunter gathering kind of stuff, because obviously like you're the Na'vi, and when you pick up shit, you've got to actually do it. I don't know how to say this without saying respectfully. Like if
It's
you're
like
ripping
sensible
something,
harvesting.
yeah, if you're like ripping something off a tree, you've got to like rip it off gently or whatever, because Pandora is living and you want it, and you get the best harvest that way. And I think thematically that perfectly fits with Avatar. You can turn that off if you want, if you find that a bit cumbersome. So I appreciate that too. But like, I think that there are little things like that that I love, because it feels like they're bespoke for this game. But so many other things, like even the cooking, like I couldn't. It was so Zelda-like. Like I don't know. But then, like with the cooking, like so you have to eat to have like a stamina meter to recover your stamina meter. But if you don't have a full stamina meter, the game, like it doesn't really matter. Like it feels like kind of. I don't know if this is like some kind of system that we're going to put into like Immortals Phoenix Rising 2 or something, and then they just like shove it in here because they cancelled it. But like you don't have to cook at all, which I find a bit weird. But yeah, but then like, you know, that sense of wonder you get when you first get your Banshee and go flying above Pandora, like there's nothing else like that. So there's just some really high highs in the game. But then just like
literally?
And
Yeah.
what about the kind of level of polish? Like, does it
no
feel...
bugs?
No bugs?
Like
Okay,
I've
cool.
been pretty good. I don't know what they did in the last few weeks, but a lot of work apparently. But yeah, I had no issues like whatsoever with bugs or anything.
Some Na'vi elder magic, I feel, to get that game.
Ancestral techniques.
Some very ancient, this one secret trick from the Na'vi. But yeah, no, pretty good to be honest. Like no, like even when things die weirdly, you would kind of expect them to glitch out. They don't. Like it's pretty solid. I feel, especially considering, like I said again, how much shit is going on screen at once. I do wonder if that will also put some people off, because it is so visually dense. You can get lost pretty easily. You can turn, but then once again, if you want, you can turn markers on to tell you where to go. But it's like I can't stress enough how dense this game looks, and they've really nailed bringing that world like into a video game. I would love for it to be in VR somehow, because it does feel like they've done a lot of work in bringing Pandora to life.
I do very much kind of get the sense that like fans of Avatar, which I know there are a fair few.
Apparently there is. I still don't believe there is, but like apparently there is, like with how much money the movies make. But I feel like I don't ever meet them in person.
Yeah.
But
I get it though. Like I recently went back to Jedi Survivor to go back and platinum that game, and I just reminded, like being a big Star Wars fan, to see the that property kind of given as much kind of care and attention as Respawn have done with that series is like so gratifying. So yeah, I get it. Like for Avatar fans, James is giving me a sus look. I don't know why.
I'm not. Yeah, no.
Your face doesn't lie, James.
Shannon, you previewed the game some months ago now. Can you see yourself making time for it this month, kind of going back to it?
It's a hard one. Like I've watched both Avatars. I like them. Like I like Far Cry. Like I might play through it. Like those opening hours were a slog. Even in the previous session, they did like transport us past bits to get to the good bits. Like I don't know if I don't really want to do that again. I kind of just want to explore the world and be set free in it. Yeah, I'll probably over the Christmas break give it a go, but yeah, I can't see myself finishing it. It's just I can't believe this game is out in 2 days. Like I just feel like it should be so much bigger than it is based on
I
the
have
sales for
started
both
seeing
movies.
like marketing springing up for it, but it's like kind of like bus stop kind of bat posters, that kind of thing. Like it's nothing big or kind of grandiose. Which I sort of feel like for a property like Avatar being attached to it, you would kind of expect, but I don't know. Maybe they're kind of seeing this game as kind of being a bit more longer term. Like I think kind of coming out when I mean, in like it'll have legs to
like when
kind
the
of
other
its
movies.
purchasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe by the time the
I mean,
next film comes out, like this game will see a bit of an uptick.
When is the
I
next
sort of
movie
feel like
out?
it is kind of coming at a good
End of
time.
next
Like
year.
it does feel like a bit of a lull kind of over the Christmas kind of holiday period. So
Yeah, it'll do well.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is next gen only though, so yeah, obviously that's going to limit
That's true.
some purchases, but yeah, it's going to do well for the reasons we've spoken about. From what James has said and what I've played, like it's inoffensive. Like it's
Yeah.
most people are going to pick it up and play it for 5 or 10 hours or get through it, and not think of it again, but they'll have a good time.
It does sound like well trod ground, but ultimately like a kind of very serviceable sort of game design. If I'm summarizing your review fairly at all, James.
Ubisoft need a win, I feel, at
They
some point in the future.
they do. I think they would admit to it as much as well. I feel like they've been a bit vocal about kind of sales performance being down in the last kind of year and a bit. So fingers crossed for them in that regard. What about yourself, Brody? Does the Avatar property have much of a pull for you? Can you see yourself picking this one up?
No, probably not. My work gets busy this time of year, so that's a good excuse to just lean off this one a little bit, I think. Yeah. Like it looked nice when I saw it at SGF last year, or this year, and I thought it looked pretty, but like hearing that it is a slog for those first few hours, it's just not something that I've got really the bandwidth for at the minute, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, well, before we move on, let me tell you again about these new SteelSeries mics we're using. As you can see, we're a big fan of SteelSeries stuff. We've got headsets and keyboards, but these new mics are fantastic for us gamers who want a professional sounding setup without a really kind of complicated setup behind it all as well. I've been using SteelSeries' Sonar software a bunch recently to adjust all my audio settings in one real simple to use interface. I don't do a lot of streaming anymore, but you can connect Sonar to OBS and then make that your kind of go-to source for managing both audio you hear in your ears and that's output to the stream, which is super easy to use. But frankly, it's just been super helpful for me, like balancing my YouTube audio against Spotify or whatever, and then kind of flicking out to my my SteelSeries speakers as well. Very handy. I highly recommend checking that out. And again, massive thanks to SteelSeries for supporting the show. I do want to go and talk about another trailer now, though. There's actually a third trailer we could potentially talk about, which is the No Return one that dropped for Last of Us in amongst all of the the Grand Theft Auto stuff today.
Halo Seasons 2 as well, Justice for...
Yeah, Halo Season 2 as well.
That actually looks good. Like the Fall of Reach stuff, it looks good. It looks better. That's all I'll say. It looks better.
I stand by like the first series. Like it wasn't like quite what we wanted it to be, but I think it did its own thing.
Katie loved it. She's looking forward to season 2, which is so weird. I'm like, okay,
that's awesome. I feel like Em would be excited about season 2 as well. I need a quiz her. Anyhow, we're here to talk about Fallout now because a trailer for that dropped in the week. There's been lots of excitement and interest into the Amazon series. This is our first kind of proper look at it. I think even earlier in the week, some Variety kind of images came out. They had been shared some stuff, but this is our first
Vanity
kind of proper
Fair,
look. Vanity Fair, sorry, thank you. This is our first kind of proper look of the show. Shannon, I might start with you because I know you're a big Fallout fan. What did you make of the look of the trailer?
Yeah, really, really cool, to be honest. I've watched it a few times and I've just watched it again now, and like, yeah, so many nostalgic moments from the games. A lot of actors that I love from Yellow Jackets and
Michael
Ben
Emerson from Lost.
Is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Twin Peaks guy. Yeah.
Kyle MacLachlan?
I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think just from start to finish, it is a well put together trailer.
Yeah. The production
yeah,
values just look so high.
100%.
Like it looks phenomenal.
Power armor is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do love, like, that was my kind of concern, is that they capture the charm of like the kind of retro future sort of vibe that there is to the Fallout series, and I feel like they've done that justice based on the kind of glimpses of it we saw. No doubt we'll see more of it in time, but I did really get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I'm keen that they're going to tell the origin story of Vault Boy. I think I saw today, so that's something that hasn't been told before, and obviously he's a big part of the franchise. So I'm keen to see that. Yeah, I'm just shocked with how good it looks from
So,
start
like,
to finish.
I'm
I don't
curious
understand
about that. Like, isn't he just like a propaganda item, like for the government or something?
I think so.
Yeah. So there you go.
Is it just going to be like, a kid drew it or something, and someone ran with it?
I mean, I love how
Walton
the Last
Goggins'
of Us
son drew it.
series like did the kind of like flashbacks to the kind of pre-apocalyptic sort of days, and you kind of had, like, you know, the scientists talking about cordyceps. Like, I think the show opened that way, so it'd be kind of cool if you kind of like you see like a room full of marketers dreaming up the idea for Vault Boy in an effort to get people to live underground. That could be real neat.
We know, like, timeline wise, I'm just quickly looking, like, when Fallout 3. Oh wow, so Fallout 3 was like 10 years after the nuking, and this is like 200 years after the apocalypse happened. So this is I don't know how this.
Well,
I'm
indeed.
assuming there's not going to be any real characters. Like, obviously there's like enemy types and suits and stuff that we recognize from the games, but I'm assuming character wise, like, apart from Easter eggs, like, this is fairly its own thing, which is cool.
Yeah, I think we'll see. I mean, like, obviously there's the German Shepherd in there as well. So I think we'll see I think we'll see like familiar things like that, or kind of characters that are very like what we know from the games. Whether or not it's exactly the same, I guess, remains to be seen.
I will say, like, just watching through this again, the only part that stands out as a bit odd is like the radioactive bear that attacks.
Oh, really?
I don't know
That's
what it's
cool.
attacking. It just looks a bit odd, but do you reckon it? I don't know.
Well, I thought
I'm
the
keen for
only
it.
weird thing about the
I don't know
trailer
how
for
you do
me
that without it
personally
looking
was where it said from the studio behind the boys and free 2-day shipping. Because I was like,
I haven't seen that show.
Yeah, up until that point, I was like, this is like really kind of serious and dramatic. And I think that is the show. But like that particular language kind of suddenly makes it feel like a very different kind of tone.
Where
so
Amazon
I
were
think
fun.
that's just a bit of an anomaly. Yeah. In the trailer. I think otherwise it is like seemingly quite a dramatic piece.
I think it's good that it's going to be like its own story, and it gives them the flexibility to do that, though. Because I mean, like, Fallout has always been fairly like anthology, so like each story is new, and I can't honestly name a character from 3 or 4 despite liking them. So I mean, like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I mean, I think it'll be great. I'm pretty excited for it.
And yeah, I'm just seeing April. I hadn't seen that it's that soon. That's extremely exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah. They kind of
Do we think that this will have the Last of Us effect? You know, sweep the Emmys, so to speak.
Ooh.
Walton Goggins, he's good stuff.
Yeah, I reckon this could get an Emmy nomination or 2. I mean, like, even just kind of for the visual effects, like, that they got going on here. Like, that weird, like, tentacle mouth monster looking thing, that was... I don't know if that's from the games at all. I'm not familiar enough, but that thing looked rad.
Yeah, just the nuke scene even looks incredible. Like, it just looks phenomenal.
Yeah, totally. How about yourself, James? You excited for this one?
I mean, I'll watch it at one point. But I'm not like
waiting for the second season of that Resident Evil show.
I don't know why we have to bring that up every time we talk about TV. But
it's low hanging fruit. It's easy to pick.
Yeah, well, keep picking.
What happened to that show?
It got cancelled.
Oh, did it?
You know damn well what happened to that show, Brody.
Yeah.
You little
I actually
shit.
didn't.
You rallied
I never
for
watched
its
it. Didn't
cancellation.
care.
I mean, Lance Reddick died
Part
too,
of the
so I don't know
problem.
if that would have put a cog in the works, even if it
That
was.
helped the situation.
Yes, your biggest star. Yeah.
Poor Lance Reddick. I might be the only person still dabbling in Fortnite on the podcast at this stage. I don't think any of you have
Next
kind of
topic.
gone back to it. That was like a smooth transition, and I totally blindsided all of you. I'm sorry. I'm curious for your thoughts on all the new content coming to the game, though. There was the Big Bang event this past weekend, which, if you're not familiar, was like the whole thing with Eminem, but it kind of coincided with the season ending and them kind of announcing what the next season was going to look like. And this brings an end to like the OG run that brought millions of players back to the game. One of the new modes that was announced within the kind of Big Bang reveal was a collaboration with Lego, adding a brand new survival crafting game coming December 7th. So another one that's right around the corner.
Look out, Avatar.
Brody, how big a deal for Fortnite do you think is a collaboration with Lego in this new game mode?
Yeah, pretty big. Like Fortnite's a massive brand, Lego's a massive brand, and I think I was listening to Kind of Funny talk about this today, and they like made good points about how as Fortnite sort of gets more impressive with fidelity and stuff, like the guns and all that sort of stuff, and the customization of those can be a bit confronting for young kids, like, which this is definitely aimed at. So having like a Lego alternative, I think, will be good for the younger audience.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm confused about in all this is like, because I'm a bit curmudgeonly, I don't really follow Fortnite. I'm very confused about the Fortnite as a platform sort of thing. Like, how does that work? Like, is every game like in Fortnite engine, or is it just Unreal? It's too much for me.
I think they're like games within a game. So like Fortnite is kind of becoming more of like a platform, like Roblox is a platform. So it's like people can build experiences within their Fortnite, like an Epic themselves, obviously making new experiences, but it's kind of becoming like a series of games within one game. Like the Battle Royale mode will always remain a mode, but they're going to have like this Lego game within there now as well. There's a ton of like, if you go to the homepage now, like you kind of immediately presented with just like dozens and dozens of tiles, which are kind of other games and modes and stuff that people have added in there, Epic or otherwise. But yeah, it is a bit difficult.
So it all stems from this creator suite thing?
Yeah, I think it's kind of all kind of come off the back of that.
And then so they'll have like Epic curated things like at the top, and then everyone's own stuff can sort of be below that and shit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like, or like, there's the battle royale kind of mode, and then there's build and no build modes. There's
I did log into Fortnite maybe a month ago for some reason. I can't remember why. It might have been for that Alan Wake thing that they did. I think it was the Alan Wake thing they did. And yeah, I did see that page, and I was just like, "Oh no, what has happened to Fortnite? I don't know what's happening." So to get that context, it definitely helps. Yeah.
What's interesting about it, because I jumped in for this Big Bang event to kind of see what all the fuss was about, and I saw that the Invincible skin from like the Amazon show was on there, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm just gonna buy that because for whatever reason I had like a ton of V-Bucks. And I get this warning prompt that it's like this skin is like only playable in mature experiences. So like all of these modes like have individual like classifications against them. So some are G, some are PG, some are M. The Battle Royale version is M, so I can play as Invincible in there. But if I was to go maybe this Lego one, I wouldn't be able to use the skin in there. I don't know.
I think, yeah, particularly because Lego are quite like sensitive about like violence and adult properties. I think there'll be restrictions on that. But super cool that they're bringing over. I think it's 1,200 costumes and skins and more in the future like that. They probably did have to do it, but probably not to that extent. So I'd love to see that.
I'll shout out another couple of the modes that they're adding in as well. The rocket racing mode has been added on December 8th, so just a day after the Lego thing, in which some vehicles are coming over from Rocket League, should you already own them.
Lightning McQueen?
Shannon has thoughts.
Lightning
McQueen,
this is
not,
where,
I
like,
don't think.
To Brody's point, I don't know, like Rocket League is such a big... I understand Lego being a part of it, and even Fortnite Festival, even though I know we'll speak about that in a second, but this one kind of shocked me because like there hasn't really been a follow-up to Rocket League, and that's been out, God, I want to say 8 years maybe, and that's been hugely successful. And this is the first thing that they've kind of done in terms of like a new major mode or anything. So for that to be in Fortnite, and it's not out yet, so we don't know, but like how extensive is it? Is it like, are they considering it like Rocket League 2? And
Yeah.
if I just would like to know, like, what were their plans before Epic acquired them? Like, was it this? Like, were they going to do a Rocket League 2? Like, how does that fit into
I I
what
kind
their
of
plans
took
were?
it as like a marketing sort of thing. It's like, hey, we've got this other game, Rocket League. Like, maybe give it a go. But maybe it's more of a test. Like, maybe they're like, let's see how many people play this racing mode that we've just chucked into Fortnite. And if people like it, then we can like make a more fully fledged
I
experience in Rocket League.
I get that, but I feel like they're proven as a studio, and like that game is so successful. Like, I can't
Yeah.
imagine. Do you know what I mean? Like, that they're happy just being like, they're happy feeding this other beast. Like, I hope it is a fully fledged experience, and that it is just a part of Fortnite because that's where people are and have it installed. But yeah, I hope they're not sort of relegated to just like creating these smaller experiences that lift the Fortnite brand. Like, I think Rocket League is strong enough to stand on its own.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to see how fleshed out it is. Really cool. I think it makes perfect sense. Like, surprised it hasn't happened sooner.
Well, the day after Rocket Racing comes out, December 9th, they're adding a Fortnite festival mode as well, which is a dedicated music mode reminiscent of Guitar Hero. They kind of teased that a little bit as part of the Big Bang event. You were kind of like drumming along with the Eminem track. It's going to be launching with music from The Weeknd, and you can play solo or with friends. James, do you reckon this is the closest we ever get to Rock Band coming back?
Yeah, it's like a bit sad that this is what Harmonix is doing now, but like I think at least it's a way for them to have consistent work. But yeah, I don't know. I think with it's like a testament to kind of how strong Fortnite is as a platform. I would guarantee like millions of people would boot that game every day, and I would argue millions of people would sit down and do that over Rocket League. So having it all there in one place makes sense to me, because Psyonix is owned by Epic now, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that they're all under the same umbrella. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised to see that kind of, because Roblox is huge. Like, Roblox is massive.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, if Epic wants to try and take that on, like, I don't blame them at all.
I think, that's very much what they're trying to do, right? Is
Yeah,
like
like,
try
that's what-
and
that's-
carve
this what-
what market share they can away
That's
from.
what this strikes me as, absolutely. Especially like,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the Lego stuff, especially, is more younger skewed. Yeah. I mean,
And
is the closest thing
I'm
that's
sure
Rock Band? Yes.
Lego
You're
have
not
had
getting
so many people knocking on their door, like Minecraft kind of being another. And I guess Fortnite's just kind of got the opportunity to do kind of cross-platform what Minecraft might. And yeah, I don't know.
I think Lego as well. Like, did Skywalker Saga do well in the end? I don't remember. Like, obviously that got delayed a lot. Because I feel like we've seen this.
I don't think so. It dropped quite quickly.
We've seen
and
like a
then-
big slowdown
Yeah.
of like those Lego games. So
Yeah.
if you can put them into Fortnite, and to me, that's of all of the things we're talking about, that's the one that fits the most. Like, Fortnite has always been from the beginning like, building and shooting. Like, and you know, Lego is building. So like, I don't know. Like, to me, there is some like lineup there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It just depends. Like, if this is like a new Rocket League game and like you just access, like, if and Fortnite is a launcher, I think that's really clever. But if it's just a shitty little experience that kind of feels like Rocket League but not,
Are these typically
Yeah.
timed? Are these
Fleshed
timed
out
things,
thing.
or do they stay forever? Like,
well,
what's the
that
go?
they could be. That's what.
Yeah, but maybe they just want to
That's-
see. Maybe they don't want to say anything until they see how it goes, and then go from there.
Yeah, that's my sort of feeling as well.
'Cause if
I
they
reckon
announce
these are
this
kind of
as-
tests in a way.
As like, oh, we're closing down Rocket League, but you'll be able to keep playing in Fortnite, like normal, like that. Like that
No.
doesn't. But like that might be what their long term plan is. Like, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah. I do love the kind of career pivot for The Weeknd at this point in time, going from The Idol to
actor.
Fortnite. What a strange turn of events.
I think he's very
Anyhow.
lucky, considering how the Idol turned out. Like,
yeah,
that he's
if he can
allowed
kind of
to do
salvage his reputation
anything.
with this, then props to him. But
Mm.
good luck. Circling back to the Grand Theft Auto discussion, though, I have a rapid fire question for you all. And that is, if you were the person that leaked that trailer today, what are you doing right now to escape the wrath of Rockstar? And I guess it's worth noting, although this is a joking question, like, kind of shitty thing to do. Like, they were very much kind of geared up for a big announcement. I've seen devs like taking their Twitter saying how excited they were to like watch the rest of the world kind of see this for the first time, like in one big moment. And because they were kind of forced to play their hand early, like everyone's just had to watch this trailer independently kind of throughout the day. But anyhow, what are you doing right now if you're the person that's leaked the trailer, Shannon?
Hiding under my bed, probably.
Brody?
Buying Bitcoin, apparently.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yes, the Bitcoin plastered all over the leak trailer. Buy Bitcoin. James?
Go find my very own Lucia and run away.
Yeah. I'd be doing the same. I'd be trying
Whoever
to get
helped me.
off the
Jason.
grid big time.
Just for a second to talk about, I don't think this was as bad or anywhere near as bad as the other leak that happened. Like, it was always going to leak in some capacity beforehand.
Yeah.
Like, once you've got a YouTube premiere, like, it's on YouTube and like people have access to that for a variety of reasons. So it's shit, but
That
I don't
does
think it's
seem
as
to
bad
be
as the hacking.
part of the
Like we
problem,
literally
right,
saw
these
like
YouTube
hours of
videos.
gameplay in like those leaks. So
Yeah, a year ago. But sucks.
Yeah, I do sort of feel sorry for them. All right, now it's time for What the Wiki, the Press Start podcast game show with the previous week's winner reads part of a Wikipedia page for an unknown game, and we, the contestants, must guess the game. A point is awarded for each correct guess, with the round ending after one person bags themselves 2 points. Currently in the lead, we have James on 35 points, Brody's in second on 33 points, Shannon in third with 30 points, Kieran has 27, I have 26, and Harry and James W tied on 1 point apiece. As last week's winner, James is in the hosting chair today.
It's got a
Take
good
it away.
lead now, Jumsy, doesn't he? It's looking ominous.
It's very late in the season at this
I
point
feel like
too.
it's 3-point
Wraps up
game
at the
from
end of the
next
year.
week. Yeah.
We may only have
Triple
like
points.
2 or 3 episodes left.
should we do triple points tonight?
Are you guys done or what? We're not doing triple points.
Oh, okay.
Not at this late
he's
stage, sorry.
nervous.
I'm not nervous. I mean, it doesn't matter. If I win, I don't get anything. So, just...
No. I
Maybe
owe
one
James
day.
so many trophies at this point.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nervous energy.
Absolutely. The game received critical acclaim, with particular praise directed at its concept and gameplay. However, it has had criticism directed at its depictions of violence and sex. It became the best-selling video game of its year and sold over 14.5 million copies, and is considered by many critics as one of the most significant... Yes, Shannon.
Is it Grand Theft Auto?
No, it's not Grand Theft Auto.
Ewan.
Yes,
I'll cue
Ewan.
up.
Is it Grand Theft Auto 5?
No, Ewan. Brody.
Brody. Is it Grand Theft Auto 3?
It is Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, that was
Congratulations, Brody.
God damn
I
it.
thought it would have sold more than that.
Well,
It was the first 3D one, to be fair.
It was early days.
There wasn't the fervor for it.
The game is an action-adventure game set in an open-world environment, and it has a different presentation style from previous games in the series. Instead of a ground-level view, the game has a top-down perspective using fully rotatable camera angles. The game also...
Shannon.
Yes, Shannon.
Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars.
It is Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wells.
I
wow.
was going to get the name right.
Yeah, I was thinking of like, what is it? It's a Chinatown Stories.
Okay, I sense the
What?
theme.
I almost want to go and pick a
Damn
different
it.
game that's not in the
I
theme.
should have
But...
fucking said 3.
Okay, Shannon won. Brody won. Here we go. Yui?
I know,
Please don't take
pressure's
me to a
on. I'm
tiebreaker.
trying to pay more attention this time.
So, okay. The game is an action-adventure game played from a third-person perspective. The player controls the main character and completes mission linear scenarios with set objectives to progress through the story. It is possible to have several missions available at a time, as some missions require the player to wait for further instructions or
Brody.
events.
Shannon.
Brody was first.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
No. Shannon was next.
He was thinking San Andreas, I think.
I was. Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories.
No.
Ewan.
You
Do I just take a punt? I don't know. I'm gonna have to, aren't I?
There's only 2 more games it could be.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Oh,
So it is Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Wow.
Which means I
But-
didn't have a fourth game prepared. So 2
Oh!
seconds.
I was like, what? What's coming back
Is he
to
going to
bite
veer
me?
from the theme now?
I feel like to keep it
It's too
interesting, I
late,
might.
I think.
Nah, we'll see.
Surely there's like an obscure GTA
I don't know what to think
release
now.
of sorts. Maybe I should go and play some GTA games on Netflix. I forget that that's a thing you can do now.
True.
They've added a bunch.
When is San Andreas coming to the MetaQuest?
This is not part of what we're talking. Let's move on. Okay, so everyone's on a draw. We ready?
We're filling time. Yeah.
Take time with Shannon.
Feel this, bitch.
Jesus.
Okay. Oh, I think I know where this is going to go. Okay.
Oh no.
After completing the game's first mission, players are given free roam throughout the game's open world.
Shannon.
Ewan.
Brody.
Shannon.
Is it Grand Theft Auto?
No, it's not.
Ewan? Is it Grand
Ewan.
Theft Auto 5?
No, it's not.
Is it Grand Theft Auto San Andreas?
You didn't buzz in, but no, it's not.
did.
No.
He did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We
It was a
queued up.
silent
It
buzzer.
wasn't.
Silent protest. Well, I didn't hear it. So,
Well, sorry.
yeah. Well,
Moving on.
Shannon.
Bus back in.
Let's just settle down.
oh, Shannon.
End of the
Grand
paragraph.
Theft Auto 2.
End of the
Or
paragraph.
GTA 2.
No.
No, we're back in, you dumb. Like, that's how
Oh my
it All right,
God.
end of the paragraph.
Everyone's voted.
It has always been end of the paragraph.
We all went. Like, that's what else happens
Then,
after
then
that?
let's just keep fucking saying games. This is stupid.
That's literally what
Okay,
happens
Brody,
every
I'll
other
queue up.
time.
Brody?
Go for it.
Brody.
Oh,
It's your moment.
I don't know what's been said.
Well, fucking stop speaking and listen.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
No,
That's already
we've
been said.
done that.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Players can use hand-to-hand combat, melee weapons, firearms, and explosives to fight rival gangs and the police. A free enemy appears on the screen when players are weapons equipped.
Ewan.
The game... Yes, Ewan?
Is it Saints Row?
It is Saints Row UE.
Yeah. I just got in your head. I
Yeah,
just
you
got
did.
in your head.
Yeah, it's fine. Wow,
That's very
who would
good.
have thought? Yeah. Impressive. Well,
Yeah,
I
make the switch.
thought you were like pausing because I needed to add a number to the end. So
oh no, I don't
just
do
like,
that. I hate that.
what do I do?
Yeah. Congrats, UE. Who would have thought?
Well, wait.
Not me. Look at us.
That's nice. I mean, that was kind
Um,
of pointless then because Ewan's not going to win, but at least he got some points.
Well, maybe if we do like double points or triple points or something, you know, like. Maybe,
Yeah.
Maybe. Mind you, I'll be
I'm annoyed
hosting
'cause
next
I
week, so
wanted to
that
say GTA
doesn't
3.
bode well.
The first time. That would have been great for me, wouldn't it? But not to be. Not to be.
With that, let's bring an end to what was this week's episode of the Press Start podcast. Once again, brought to you today by SteelSeries and their new range of Alias microphones. Subscribe to us on Listener or the podcast service of your choice. Follow us at press.au and visit the site at press.com.au. We've been joined today by Shannon.
Yes, you can follow me at Shannon Grixty on all socials. I would like to say that if this microphone could not cope with me screaming into it like a second ago, no microphone could. So enjoy that.
You did get heated. Also joining us today, it was James.
Yes, it was me, and you can find me at X at Jams ATJAMZ.
And last but not least, it was Brody.
Thank you. You can follow me on most things at Brody_DG. I've got a Arizona Sunshine 2 review up. I finally opened my PSVR 2, boys. It came out from under the bed.
Nice.
It's done. So
Really
check that
proud
out.
of you.
Thank you.
How did you
You told me I
find-
couldn't sell it, so I had to use it. So
I was just being honest.
How did
Sony
you find
can't. Why
PSVR
would
2?
you?
yeah, look, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I definitely think the controllers are a vast improvement.
Yeah.
And it brought Shannon and I closer together because we played the co-op, and it was a lovely time. I thought it was lovely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. I've been
He
your
doesn't think
host,
so clearly.
Ewan Roxburgh. You can follow me on socials at Ewan_Roxburgh. As it gets increasingly warmer in summer, expect more glowy forehead. I don't know how I combat this, but I got a sheen going on. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in, and until next time, happy gaming.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.